Live from downtown Macon, this is WGXA News live on YouTube.
Good evening, Middle Georgia. I'm Amanda Peralta.
I'm Greg Lloyd. Amanda and I thank you for watching WGXA News live on YouTube. New details are emerging about the murder of a North Georgia man reported missing after visiting Macon. Here's a snapshot of the timeline based on what we know now.
24-year-old Oliko Dennis was from Chatsworth. That's in Murray County in North Georgia. He was on a work assignment in Forsyth. Now, investigators say he visited Macon on a Tuesday night, and investigators aren't sure why. His family reported him missing the next day. By Thursday morning, his body was found dumped in Crawford County. He had been shot to death. Less than a week later, 38-year-old Jarvis Tillman and 30-year-old Amanda Holsey were charged with his murder. They were arrested at the intersection of Riverside Drive and Pierce Avenue. According to arrest warrants obtained by WGXA News, investigators believe Dennis was shot multiple times at the Vineville townhomes on Baxter Avenue. The warrants don't say who shot Dennis. That's when investigators believe Tillman and Holsey loaded his body into an F-150 truck, and they took him to Sandy Point Circle in Crawford County and dumped his body there.
Bibb County deputies have made an arrest in connection to the shooting death of a security worker for the Rodeo Bar and Grill. Investigators say 34-year-old Geraldo Lamara is accused of shooting Jermaine Stewart in the early morning hours of September the 10th. Stewart died from his injuries later that same day in a local hospital. Lamara was arrested during a traffic stop in Monroe County and transferred to Bibb County. He's being held without bond on 3 counts of aggravated assault and murder charges.
Bibb deputies arrested 2 men on drug charges after a high-speed chase. Deputies spotted the men speeding away from a shooting scene on Willie Smoky Glover Drive. Investigators say the men led them on a chase exceeding 110 miles per hour on I-16. Deputies say when they finally pulled them over, they found drugs in the car. Now both men were arrested.
Bibb deputies are looking for this man after he robbed the Circle K on Northside Drive around 3:30 this morning. Deputies say he came in with a gun, demanded cash, and once he got it, he ran away. No one was physically harmed in that robbery.
The GBI is investigating an officer-involved shooting in Bibb County that put a man in the hospital.
Deputies say it happened after they were tipped off to the location of Anthony Baldwin Jr., the suspect in the 2022 murder of Claudette Brown, and he's been arrested for it as of today.
Sheriff David Davis says the deputies found him in a stolen GMC Yukon and followed Baldwin from Houston Avenue to a senior living home on Felton Avenue. When deputies attempted to pull Baldwin over, the GBI says he got out of the SUV and reached inside for a gun. That's when deputies shot and injured him. Baldwin was taken to the hospital and listed in stable condition.
It's not clear if deputies knew a child was in the car, but the child wasn't injured. Along with the GBI investigation, Sheriff David Davis says Internal Affairs will conduct its own investigation to make sure that proper policy was followed. The GBI is also investigating another officer-involved shooting between a state trooper and a suspect in Atlanta. According to the GBI, troopers saw a Genesis car driving erratically on 120 around 3:30 yesterday afternoon. The driver, Ramadan Salim, took off when troopers tried to pull him over. He took off of I-20 on an exit, ran a red light, and crashed into a light pole. When Salim got out of the car, he pulled a gun and fired at troopers who returned fire, hitting Salim. He was taken to the hospital in stable condition. The GBI has been called in to investigate 43 officer-involved shootings in Georgia so far this year.
Prosecutors in Cobb County are dropping the case of a man who was convicted in the 2014 hot car death of his 22-month-old son. Justin Ross Harris was sentenced to life without parole in 2016, but the state Supreme Court overturned parts of his conviction after a closer review of the evidence. Thursday, prosecutors announced that Harris will not be retried. Instead, he is expected to serve the rest of his 12-year sentence for counts of child cruelty and lewd exchanges with a minor. Last June, the Georgia Supreme Court ruled 6-3 that evidence submitted by prosecutors of Harris's extramarital sexual relationships, which the state portrayed as a motivation behind his decision to kill his son Cooper, had unfair prejudicial impact on the jury. The court then overturned the 3 counts of murder related to Cooper's death.
It has been a dangerous 24 hours on Middle Georgia's roadways. A motorcyclist is dead after wrecking this morning at the I-75-16 split in Macon, according to Bibb County Coroner Leon Jones. Bibb deputies say that 57-year-old Joseph Bradley Middleton was on the ramp from I-16 to 75 when he hit a tarp in the road that made him lose control and hit a guardrail. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Tonight, deputies are still investigating that crash.
And overnight, a woman was thrown from her SUV during a violent wreck on Highway 247. Houston County deputies say the woman lost control of her vehicle in front of Robins Air Force Base. Investigators say the SUV flipped multiple times over railroad tracks before coming to a stop in the woods. They say the woman was thrown from her vehicle in the process. No word so far on her condition or her identity.
A crash is under investigation in Macon after it left one man dead and a woman in critical condition. Bibb deputies say a tow truck was driving on Millerfield Road when it crossed the center line and hit a Ford van. The tow truck went off the road and hit a tree while the van flipped onto its side when the driver lost control. The woman driving the van was taken to the hospital and is on a ventilator. Her passenger, 76-year-old Joseph Mims, he was ejected from the car crash and he died.
Ahead of the Memorial Day holiday, the Belts and Jackets 2023 Safety Tour stopped at Lake Blackshear today.
State and local law enforcement want to remind everyone to put safety first while traveling on the road and the water.
Our Brianna Cook joins us with what those reminders are. Brianna?
Officers are issuing a precaution to everyone traveling within the state of Georgia this Memorial Day weekend.
Just remember, this is your warning.
From the roads to the water, state troopers in the Department of Natural Resources will be on high alert this Memorial Day weekend. AAA projects 42.3 million Americans will travel 50 miles or more from their home for Memorial Day weekend, which is an increase of 7% over last year. Crash data shows the number of people who have been killed in car accidents in Georgia during Memorial Day weekend has doubled over a 5-year period, from 7 traffic deaths in 2018 to 15 people killed in traffic accidents during the 2022 Memorial Day holiday weekend. Coroner Chris Wright is urging people to follow the laws in order to save their life.
Slow down and obey the posted speed limit, and always wear your seatbelt and ensure children are in a proper restraint system. Wearing your seatbelt is the single most important thing that you can do.
According to the Governor's Office of Highway Safety, more than 56% of people killed in crashes in Georgia were not wearing their seatbelts. Alan Poole, the director of the Governor's Office of Highway Safety, says wearing your seatbelt lowers your chances of death during a car crash.
And if you are secure in that box, your chances of surviving a crash goes up exponentially because you're strapped inside and not thrown out, whether maybe you could be propelled into a tree.
With officers heavily patrolling the roads with increased chances of crashes and DUIs during the holidays, the waters are also being patrolled. Georgia Department of Natural Resources game wardens investigated 23 boating fatalities and responded to 57 drownings in 2022. Game wardens also made 287 arrests for boating under the influence, which is a 55% increase from the 180 BUI arrests made in 2018. Rules for people to follow while on the water is to wear a U.S. Coast Guard approved life jacket, focus on what's ahead, no driving a boat while under the influence, and to take a boater or driver's educational class. Not following the laws of the water can get you a ticket and possibly a misdemeanor charge. Colonel Thomas Bernard says following those rules can make a huge difference.
These incidents leave family members and friends devastated and saddened, but I would argue that most, if not all, were avoidable. Just a few simple acts can mean the difference between an enjoyable, safe day and a life-altering, tragic day.
Important tips there from Brianna Cook, and a live look at I-75 this Thursday afternoon before the official kickoff of the Memorial Day travel weekend. AAA is expecting Georgia to see record numbers this year. This year, 1.3 million Georgians are expected to travel 50 miles or more on the roads and airways. That's 86,000 more than last year and 13,000 more than in 2019 before the pandemic. We also want to take a live look at the Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport in Atlanta, as Georgia air travel numbers are set to reach new record highs. An estimated 1.2 million Georgians will drive, which is 70,000 more than last year. Meanwhile, 114,000 are forecast to fly, which is 12,000 more passengers than last year's holiday.
AAA is also making it safer to travel this weekend for drivers who may have had too much to drink. They're activating their Tow to Go program in Georgia. When called, the Auto Club group dispatches a tow truck to transport the driver and their vehicle to a safe location within a 10-mile radius. Tow to Go is active from 6 p.m. tomorrow until 6 a.m. on Tuesday, the 30th. Georgians can call the number on their screen for a safe ride. The program is designed to be used as a last result. AAA says drivers should make a plan in advance to get home if they're going to become impaired. Since its inception, Tow to Go has removed more than 25,000 impaired drivers from the road.
And it's Thursday. The weekend is almost here, and it is the holiday weekend, but it is going to be turning cooler as we do have a coastal low that's going to throw us some northeasterly winds. On Saturday, we could have a few scattered PM storms, 72 degrees. On Sunday, most of the day should be dry, but the bigger story is really going to be more about the temperatures in the low 70s. The best chance of rain will be very far to the west, but I think most of us should stay dry right through the holiday weekend. Temperatures today, though, it's pretty nice outside. 81 degrees in Macon, 78 in Forsyth, 79 in Sparta, 81 degrees in Sandersville, and down in McRae, the warm spot currently 83 degrees. So it definitely is a warm day, but it is going to be cooling down as we head towards the weekend. As satellite radar is showing the low pressure that is beginning to develop really right off the coast of around Daytona Beach, getting some storms that are beginning to fire up. And this is really all going to be coming down to the track, to who sees most of the rain and a lot of the clouds as we get further into the weekend. And this area does have a chance for some tropical development over the next 2 and 7 days. There's around a 10% chance of this coastal storm becoming a tropical system. So we're definitely keeping our eye on it. And as we're beginning to track it out, as we get throughout the day tomorrow, it's going to be off the Carolina coast, but the winds are going to be coming up out of the northeast. So it is going to be a rather breezy weekend for us, but a cooler one as well. Tomorrow we should still make it up into the 80s, but then we get into the 70s for the weekend. The track is still showing that it will stay far enough to the east that maybe we just get some high clouds that really pop in, especially for areas to the west. This is Saturday around 6 p.m. And then on Sunday, it kind of begins to lift out as the winds kind of shift back, and then the temperatures begin to moderate as we head towards next week. So for the rest of tonight, it's going to be mostly clear, cool, 56 degrees for the overnight low, and really planning out your Memorial Day weekend. The winds are going to pick up and the temperatures drop, 72 degrees on Saturday. On Sunday, some sun, lots of clouds still, especially for areas to the east, 74 degrees. And on Monday, we warm back up with that breeze still and quite a few clouds, the high 80 degrees. So this cool down really coming on Sunday. We're running 14 degrees below average, but then temperatures begin to moderate as we head towards next week with that coastal storm kind of exiting our area. So in your 10-day forecast tomorrow, it's a very sunny end to the work week. The high 80 degrees. We are very far still below average. The high this time of year now 88. With the winds out of the northeast, it drops down for the weekend. Sunny and breezy on Saturday, 72 degrees. On Sunday, we fill up more clouds, especially for areas to the east, 74 degrees for the high. For actual Memorial Day on Monday, we'll still keep some of those clouds around, but then temperatures begin to step back up, 80 degrees on Monday. Tuesday, warming things up now, 84 degrees, mainly sunny. On Wednesday, though, the humidity is going to start increasing, 86 degrees, almost there at average. And on Thursday, really our next chance for some storms that is actually notable. Some isolated storms on Thursday, the high 87, maybe even another 90-degree day. I'm kind of glad that we're not getting these 90s, but they're going to start creeping as we head further into June. So lastly, here's your Harrison Body Shop Fish and Game forecast. Peaks at 7:40 a.m. and 8 p.m.
All right. Thank you, Ryan. Well, with Memorial Day officially kicking off summertime for so many, some family plans of dipping their toes in the water might have dried up for the second year in a row.
Families in Bloomfield might have to beat the heat elsewhere as their neighborhood pool is closed for the season. Geraldine Louie says the closure will bring a halt to summertime fun for children in the community.
I want the children in this neighborhood to have some place to go, some place for the summer to go instead of walking up and down the streets. This is not a safe neighborhood for them.
Macon Bibb Recreation Director Robert Walker said last year the city found leaks in the system that they started working on, and when they started opening up the pool again this year, that's when they uncovered even more problems.
According to city officials, there's no set date when the repairs are expected to be completed, but they will be arranging transportation for residents to go to other pools. Readers are getting a new haven at the Tubman African American Museum in Macon. The Leadership Macon class of 2022 in Tubman Museum joined together today to hold ribbon cutting for the updated Wimberley Institute reading and resource rooms. Now offer kids and adults who visit the museum a designated space to enjoy books from the museum library. As part of more than $17,000 project, the Leadership Macon class of 2022 supplied additional books to help fill the museum's library shelves. Funds also went to repainting, the installation of new floating shelf units and furniture.
We were just really inspired by this space. It's colorful and fun. We hope very inviting. I heard they've already had a couple of classes come in here and use it. And so we're just thankful that we could contribute in this way and that it's being used and it's useful for our community.
The project was funded completely by donation, including gifts from Atrium Health Navicent, Colony Bank, Community Foundation of Central Georgia, Piedmont Construction Group, and Sheridan Construction.
NFL star and Atlanta Falcons player Bud Dupree is giving back to his old high school in Wilkinson County, where it all started for him. $50,000 are going to help provide the football team upgraded equipment and more training opportunities. Dupree was a key player for the Wilkinson County Warriors from 2008 to 2011. He was awarded the first team All-State title in recognition of his outstanding performance. He then went on to earn a Division I scholarship to the University of Kentucky.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Gary Thigpen, and I'm here again today at All About Animals Rescue here in Macon, Bibb County, and I'm going to be joined again today with Lisa and Allison, and guess who we have today?
We have Chachi.
Who is full of energy, you can see.
She has been watching us this morning and ready to get out of her pen. And so right now she's loving.
Yes, she is.
But she is a sweet, sweet girl. She is a volunteer favorite. She's full grown and she is ready for her forever home.
Full grown, you heard that now. And do you know what breed maybe?
She's a mixed breed. I think she's a Staffordshire Terrier mix. I'm just 100% not sure.
And about how old again?
She's, I think about a little over a year old. She's perfect.
Now, all the dogs are microchipped, did you say?
Yes, all our dogs are microchipped, fully dental checked. They're spayed and neutered, and they're tested for heartworm and
ready for their forever home.
Yes, they are.
All right, guys, if you want to find Chachi a really good home and you want to make that your home his home, how would they go about doing that, Lisa?
She is ready for her forever home, and if you want to adopt her or meet her, please message us on Facebook, All About Animals Rescue, and one of our volunteers will get back with you as soon as possible.
Look how beautiful Chachi is.
She's beautiful.
Let's do that today. Let's find her a good home. Thank you so much, Lisa and Allison.
Thank you.
A dog in New Jersey is now a college graduate. This is a video of Justin walking across the stage to receive his diploma from Seton Hall University alongside his owner, Grace Mariani, on Monday. Mariani got a Bachelor of Science degree in education. Justin, on the other hand, received an honorary certificate for his hard work, accompanying Mariani to all of her classes. How cute is he?
I know, Bachelor of Science. I'm team Bachelor of Science too, so that's kind of iconic.
I am too. Mine is Bachelor of Science in Communication, I think it is.
That's a thing?
Yeah. I was like,
that's a thing? What's this? What is?
That's a thing?
What is this thing?
There's a science to communication?
Well, mine is a Bachelor of Science in Media Communication.
Whoa.
Yeah, from a bachelor's
Science?
degree. Yeah.
That's kind of epic.
who hired him?
I mean, yeah,
Can we send him back to Delaware?
I'm starting to ask the same thing. At least you're sending her to the right state. I'm going to say Maryland.
Maryland,
Can they
no.
come get him?
We actually love you, the Mirandos, now, and your son is precious to us, but we love picking on him too. But we're going to have a talk about this. So you're saying that we don't have enough sense to complete a science?
I never said that.
I think that's what he was saying.
That's how it came across.
That sounds like a
across
gaslight.
the desk.
That sounds like a gaslight. No.
No.
Just I didn't know that communication has a science bachelor. I thought it
There's
would
a
be
science.
No,
I
there's
thought it was an
Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Science.
Yeah, I thought it was being a Bachelor of
And
the
that
Arts.
is no BS. We're telling you straight
Ah,
up.
ha, ha,
That's
ha,
right.
ha, ha.
I know. Dad joke.
No, such a
right?
dad joke.
That's going to do it for the news live at 5:30. If you like it, we hope that you will like and subscribe on our YouTube channel.
Yes, we invite you to join us at 6 on ABC 16 for even more dad jokes.
Have a good night.